What you know about waking up every day like you're on a mission. Big Sean in One Man Can Change the World. Sadly, many people cannot relate to the question Big Sean asked above. Many people wake up without a clear idea of what they need to do or achieve. When you walk around the street, you'll see many people walking around looking busy. However, the truth is that many are only wandering around. They have no clue about the direction they are heading in life. Many go out wandering like a goat and come back wanting. The aimless journey begins all over again the second day. Such people have empty lives that they want to fill. Some individuals turn to social media to find something they can be engaged in to forget about their miserable life. That is why we have many people on online platforms that troll others at any slight chance. Many of them don't have a life in the real world. They are giants and monstrous online, but their lives count for nothing in reality. One of the worst things that can happen to a person is to go through life without a direction. Such a person will not be able to measure his or her progress. He or she will always depend on the affirmation and acceptance of others to feel good, which is dangerous. In this short but promising journey, we'll explore how you can live a meaningful and purposeful life. You'll learn tips that will enable you to enhance clarity and have clarity in your daily endeavor. In this video, we'll discover about starting with the end in mind. For me, the greatest beauty always lies in the greatest clarity. Gotthold Ephraim Lessing. Nothing is more beautiful than doing something with a clear purpose. Therefore, you should always ask yourself, why am I doing this? Procrastination experts have discovered that one of the reasons people waste time on a task is when they cannot understand its purpose. In this section, we'll explore how you can start a journey with clarity by having the end in mind. What do you really want? Don't wait until anyone asks you this question before you answer it. This is a crucial question you need to answer at the early stage of your life. I asked people this question a couple of times, and their answer is often shocking. I discovered that many people have never taken time to ask themselves what they want to do with their lives. Many people are hoping that some powers out there will align the stars in their favor without a clear plan. There are many reasons people have this approach to life. Some people don't decide what they want to do with their lives because they believe that whatever will be, will be. A deterministic approach to life will limit you because this mindset will not make you put in the necessary hard work to succeed in any task. It doesn't make you take responsibility for your life and make you leave things to chance. This simplistic perception will not give you reasons to be passionate about anything. Another reason some people don't make plans is that they believe that life is too full of uncertainties. Of course, it's true that life doesn't always give us what we deserve. Still, you can increase your chances of achieving success in life when you have something specific you are thinking about. If you want to live life with clarity, you need to start with the end in mind. If you haven't decided what you want to do with your life, close this video course now and think about it before you continue watching. Purpose or pressure. It's good that you have something specific you want to achieve with your life. Still, it might not be enough when your motives are wrong. Why do you want to achieve your dream? This question is more important than the desire to attain a goal. When your reasons for choosing a dream are questionable, so many things can go wrong along the way. You might quit along the line or even achieve the target only to discover that it's not worth it. For example, if you're trying to attain a goal to gain the approval of a person or some people, you're playing a dangerous game. If anyone does not accept you because you haven't reached a standard, you might never be good enough for that person. You might have to keep doing something to be in the good book of the person or individuals. So when deciding what you want to do with your life, ensure that your decision isn't based on pressure, but purpose. Some people also strive to achieve certain goals so they can prove a point to some people. They want to be able to tell the individuals that didn't believe in them that they made it. This approach will only make you desperate, which can lead to wrong decisions you will regret in the long run. No one should be the reason you want to achieve a target. What will happen to you if the person is still not pleased at the end of the day? You'll be devastated. So scrutinize your motive before striving to attain a target. Dangers of following the crowd. When your dreams are based on the desire to please people, you're at the risk of the following issues. Instability. You can never be stable when your dream isn't based on your personal conviction. You'll realize that you have many abandoned projects. You were striving hard to be a successful real estate investor 2 years ago, but you don't fancy it anymore. You've decided to pursue a musical career now. The year before, you wanted to be a footballer. When the people around you realize that you are like that, they'll not take you seriously. Instead of encouraging you, you will have more people doubting you. It might hurt that you don't get the necessary support you need. However, it might be your fault. Every dream has its challenges. Decide what you want devoid of sentiments and pursue it regardless of the challenges you face. Loss of uniqueness. Whoever makes decisions based on trends cannot stay true to him or herself. Things can get so messed up that you cannot even tell who you are. You have copied so many people and followed different trends that you no longer know what matters to you. Your value system has been infested, and you have sacrificed your uniqueness on the altar of acceptance. This isn't a situation you should find yourself in. If you realize that you don't know who you are anymore, you need to retrace your steps. You have left your true self somewhere behind. If you take your time to eliminate the wrong influences in your life, you will regain your uniqueness. Poor performance. You can only be best when you stay true to yourself. When you set targets that don't align with your strength, you cannot perform at the peak of your powers. You'll be struggling, and it will become evident that something has to be done. Of course, you shouldn't give up easily. You might be facing challenges sometimes because you need to acquire more skills. Take your time and ask yourself why things haven't been going fine for you. Could it be because you need more training, or because you are doing something that doesn't align with your personality? If the issue is that you need to acquire more skills, don't hesitate to invest in your training. However, if the issue is that you are doing something that doesn't maximize your strength, you need a new career path. Low self-worth. Poor performance will affect your self-esteem, which can discourage you from trying something new. Indeed, everyone fails. Nonetheless, if you discover that you're often struggling to meet your target, you need to go back to the drawing board. In the words of Socrates, it is better to change an opinion than to persist with a wrong one. Persistence has its place. However, it's futile to stick with an approach that isn't producing the needed result. Don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong. Be the best version of yourself, rather than be average because you want others to accept you. You don't have to do things the way your family and friends do it before you can achieve success. Mood disorder. We all have reasons to be sad sometimes. We all have bad days when we don't want to talk to anyone, including our loved ones. There are just days like that when you just want to be alone with your thoughts so that you can process what has been going wrong with your life. Yet it's a problem when such days and situations are consistent. It might be a sign that you are battling depression, which is a psychological problem. One of the reasons you might find yourself battling depression is when you live your life based on the acceptance of others. There's nothing wrong with wanting to impress someone once in a while. Still, it shouldn't be something you have to repeat consistently. Stay more around the people that will not treat you like trash just because you didn't possess certain things. You should find value in yourself and be yourself without being apologetic about it. Starting with the end in mind makes it easy to do this. In this video, we'll talk about brain power and brain health 101. The advantages of finding your true north are numerous. It enhances your chances of being comfortable in your skin and finding your best niche. The perks of starting with clarity include the following. Defined goals. There's no way you'll be able to set specific goals when you don't have a clear idea of what you want to do. You only end up setting targets that are ambiguous, based on questionable criteria. When people ask you how you intend to achieve the goal, you might find yourself shocked because you'll realize that you haven't thought things through. Some individuals will accuse others of being pessimistic for questioning the feasibility of their dreams. Don't be deceived. It's not everyone that questions you that doesn't believe in you. There are times that your friends will realize that you're only aiming to reach a target based on the wrong motives. It might be obvious to them that you don't have a plan and your goals are not realistic. Don't start fighting them and accusing them, especially when they are constructive in their criticism. Ask them what they think are the missing gaps so that you can go to the drawing board together and start all over again. It's better to start again than embark on a fruitless and meaningless endeavor that is doomed to fail. Clear direction. When you start with clarity, you know where you are heading. Apart from knowing the direction of where you want to go, you'll also be able to give details of how you'll get there and the sacrifices you will need to pay to reach the target. When you don't have a clue about what it takes to achieve a goal, you'll be surprised somewhere along the line and will realize that you've not prepared ahead. Being mentally prepared is the most important readiness you need to scale through potential challenges. When you don't know what to expect, your mental strength might not be enough to see you through. Your skills and expertise cannot always bail you out. If you're not prepared for what is coming ahead, You might collapse and give up. So, it's crucial that you start a journey with a good grasp of what to expect. You should be able to highlight the risks and potential challenges you might face to a reasonable extent. When this is missing, you'll eventually find yourself in no man's land and might have to start all over again. A sense of meaning. Nothing beats that feeling of waking up in the morning and you feel that you're living a meaningful life. When your life doesn't make sense to you, you'll feel like staying in bed all day long. In the worst case, you might be considering suicide because you cannot fathom why you're living. Don't wait until things get so bad that you have suicidal ideations. Draft a plan for your life. Sit down and draft a plan for your life. Ask yourself, who am I? What kind of man or woman would you like to become? The earlier you find answers to these questions, the better for you. When you don't have a plan for your life, others will use you to achieve theirs. You should have values that resonate with your personality and set your goals based on them. How do you see the world? What can you contribute to make life worthwhile for others? What can you do that will make you feel that you are doing far more than just existing? Provide answers to these questions as soon as possible to give yourself an essence to live. Identification of distractions. It's when you know where you're going and what you need to do that you can be able to identify potential distractions. For example, when you're playing football, the aim is to score against the opponent and prevent the opponent from putting the ball in your net. Anything that prevents you from achieving these two objectives isn't worth it. In the same way, when you have a clear plan for your life, you'll be able to tell when you are deviating from the original plan. It's a disaster when an individual is already going astray and he or she cannot tell. You cannot plan to become a successful real estate agent, and you spend most of your time reading about the latest fashion trends. How is that supposed to contribute to your target? It's not as though you should never do anything else with your time when you have a goal. Still, you need to devote quality time to your primary assignment. Resilience. You can only stay strong and keep pushing when you're sure that you want to achieve is worth it. When you're not convinced that what you're trying to attain will give you the ultimate satisfaction at the end of the day, you'll break down at the slightest sign of a storm. It's your vision of how what you intend to achieve will make you feel in the long run that will keep you focused when things are not going your way. Every career path has its unique challenges. In fact, you'll have reasons to be disappointed with the people around you at one point or the other, regardless of how much you love them or they love you. What will keep you going during those turbulent days is the reason you decided to venture into the endeavor in the first place. That's why it's essential that you have genuinely solid reasons for doing something. Compassion. You don't only need compassion for others, you also need it for yourself. You'll fall at some point because no one is infallible. When you start out with clarity, you'll also realize that it's possible to make mistakes at some point. You would have also planned what you will do in case that day comes. When you don't plan ahead to forgive yourself and others, you'll struggle to do so when things go bad. Plan ahead to overlook your flaws and forgive yourself to give yourself the impetus to start over again or continue when you fail. Life doesn't always go in the direction of your plan. You should have positive expectations. So if things are always going on smoothly, you need to check what you are doing. It is likely that you are doing less than your ability. Positive self-image. A clear view of how you want to proceed makes you feel good about yourself. It gives you the impression that you're in control and taking responsibility for your life. No one wants to feel that he or she doesn't have a direction in life. It can ruin your self-esteem and affect your confidence. Meanwhile, low self-esteem will make you settle for less than you deserve. You'll be happy with average performance and feel that you are outdoing yourself when you're not taking full advantage of your potential. Indeed, you should have a realistic evaluation of yourself. Still, you shouldn't settle for just anything that comes your way in life. When life doesn't give you what you want and deserve, refuse to take it. Stage a comeback and demand what you deserve. Of course, it is easier said than done. However, when you start out with clarity, you know what you want and will not settle for less. In this video, we'll discuss signs of lack of clarity and focus. Many people are trying to make sense of their lives because of uncertainty. The good news is that it is possible to have clarity and a focus in life. However, you cannot enjoy these when you have not been able to ascertain your level of clarity. In this chapter, we'll highlight and discuss some of the common signs of uncertainty. Multiple goals. Nothing speaks more volumes about the fact that you don't have a plan than when you have numerous goals. In the long run, you'll be confused. It's not as though you need to be a specialist in one area. Still, you'll increase your chances of success when you have a particular niche that maximizes your strength. Every field has its niche. Medical professionals don't focus on the same area. The ones that treat teeth are different from the ones that treat eyes. As an investor, there is nothing wrong with diversification. Moreover, it's not advisable to put your eggs in one basket, yet you should have the main area that you give the most attention to. It's better to have an area where you are an expert. In that niche, you know the potential risks and chances of success of a project due to your expertise and experience. If you have other areas you would like to invest in, seek the help of experts in that niche to help you make the best investment decision. Instability. Another way you can know that you don't have a clear plan is when you have a culture of jumping from one career path to the other. It's normal when you realize at some point in your life that you need to make tweaks here and there in the light of new realities. You might have chosen a career path at some point because you don't have enough information about it. You'll not be the first person to choose a profession out of excitement. Still, you need to check your approach to things if you barely work a job within 6 months or a year within 3 years. Of course, there are unfortunate situations, such as your company being forced to lay off workers due to economic situations. This was the case for many people during the coronavirus pandemic. However, if the reason for your instability is that you keep leaving a job and applying for another one, you need to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself what you really want. Frequent chop and change. As we grow older, we make better decisions because of better exposure and experiences. However, something is seriously amiss when you make radical changes within a short period. This instability can also be seen in the light of your relationship and marital choices. It's not normal when your best friend 6 months ago stopped being your friend. It gets worse when it happens a lot. It is at the height of it when you have a culture of dating different people within a short period. It is a sign that you don't have a clear plan and reason for starting out in the first place. You will hurt many people when you don't start out with clarity. You'll hurt your boss when you abandon a job, especially when that person sees you as a quality professional. In the same way, you'll hurt your partner when you walk out of a relationship, especially when the person is already planning a future with you. So to avoid breaking the hearts of people and making unnecessary enemies, start out with clarity. Consistent trial and error approach. There's no way you'll be functioning at the peak of your powers. There are situations when you have to try different approaches before you stick to a winning formula. For example, the coach of a football club might try different formations before he or she finally decides the one that is best for the characteristics of the players at his or her disposal. However, you cannot go through life experimenting all the way. Some experiments can cost you a lot. Besides, you might hurt people along the way by starting and stopping. So it is better that you think things through before you start. You will confuse yourself and confuse the people that find themselves as guinea pigs of your experiment. Some of them might feel used and hate you. It's not everyone that forgives easily. Some of them might even hurt you or hurt your loved ones. Therefore, a trial and error approach isn't the best for all parties involved. Have a clear plan and follow through unless it's obvious that it cannot work anymore. Dissatisfaction. Even when you are yet to achieve your aim, the fact that you feel that you know what you need to do to make it happen gives you positive emotions in the meantime. Your happiness should be your priority. You'll not always get what you want at the time you want it in life. You'll have to wait for the right opportunity to pounce. When you don't have a clear plan, you'll jump at every opportunity without thinking whether it's right for you or not. It's not every opportunity that will suit you. You need to weigh the pros and cons of a situation before you jump into it. If you dive in without considering how it might affect you in the future, you will either have to quit apologetically or stick there like a stoic. You'll be suffering and you will feel that you are stuck. It's not a good feeling when you feel that you keep making mistakes and missing the target. To avoid living your life that way, start with a clear plan. Lack of confidence. Overconfidence isn't a good attribute to possess. Still, it is better to have extremely high self-esteem than have none. People might perceive you as an arrogant person when you have high self-esteem. However, you cannot afford to look down on yourself. You should have a realistic evaluation of your chances, but you should never allow anyone to write you off. You should back yourself even when no one is giving you a chance. Confidence is often a product of a clear plan. When you know what you want and how you can make it happen, it builds your self-esteem. You already know what it takes to be a success, and you will be fighting tooth and nail to ensure that your dream comes to pass. The reverse is the case when you have no idea what to expect. You will be hoping that a force out there helps you, which affects your level of confidence. Emotional Emotional disturbances. When you don't have a good grasp of what you want and how to get it, you will feel like a fish out of water. It gets worse when your friends begin to talk about their plans, what they have done so far, and what they still need to do. You'll want to avoid those kind of conversations as much as possible because you know that you don't have something tangible to talk about. The good news is that it's possible to rid yourself of this feeling by putting the appropriate measures in place. It begins by eliminating uncertainty and choosing what will be worth your time and energy. In the next chapter, we'll discuss the hacks that can help you put your life together and have a clear picture of the kind of man or woman of your dream. It's easier when you know how to go about it. In this video, we'll discover about how to eliminate uncertainty. Distractions are part and parcel of life, so you are not alone if you're uncertain about what to do and how to go about life. We have stated some of the signs of lack of clarity. If you discovered that you need to be more specific and deliberate about your life, leverage the hacks below. Set SMART goals. You might have come across the SMART acronym before. It represents the 5 attributes of a feasible target. They are as follows: S, specific; M, measurable; A, attainable; R, relevant; T, time-bound. Setting SMART goals is one of the best ways to have clarity and eliminate uncertainty. It means that your targets will be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant to you, and will be achieved within a time frame. Specific implies that the objective is definite, while measurable means that you have specific benchmarks for evaluating your progress. Attainable implies that the goal is feasible, while relevant means that the target aligns with your personality, and achieving it will give you a sense of purpose. Time-bound means that you have a specific period when you intend to achieve your target. If your goals have all these attributes, it shows that you have taken time out to think things through before setting sail. You'll be able to eliminate uncertainty and focus on the task at hand. Ask questions. It is a sign of pride, folly, or a serious case of low self-esteem when an individual doesn't know how to solve a problem and wouldn't ask the people that can help out. Things are way easier in the modern world when it comes to finding valuable information that can help you in any endeavor. A simple internet search can give you access to numerous resources that can make things easier for you. This approach can help you to find out about a business before you invest in it, among other benefits. Nonetheless, it's not every time that you can find satisfactory answers online. There might be situations in which you'll need to talk to a person involved in that field to help you. Indeed, there are online platforms where you can have audio and video conversations. Still, don't hesitate to talk to a person that can give you a vivid explanation about that endeavor if you prefer one-on-one physical conversation. Find mentors. The importance of a mentor cannot be overemphasized. A mentor has the experience and has gone through the path you're about to tread, so the person knows the potential pitfalls and the likely challenges you might face. You'll be able to trust the judgment of the person because he or she has been through the thick and thin in the field and has a better understanding of what works and what wouldn't. When you have a mentor, you'll not go through life experimenting with different approaches. In most cases, your mentor will be able to give you a breakdown of the pros and cons of the different methods you can use to solve a problem. It's more effective when your mentor is also your sponsor, especially in a career path. A sponsor is a notch higher than a mentor. A mentor will give you the tips you can use to get to the top, while a sponsor will hold your hand and take you there. He or she will vouch for you in his or her sphere of influence, so that the people that trust him or her will give you the opportunities to show what you can do. Be accountable. The fact that you have a mentor doesn't mean that you are automatically accountable to him or her. You need to be deliberate about your accountability. Many people have mentors and people that are willing to help them, but their commitment to the relationship isn't good enough. No one will be committed and accountable to you when you are not committed and accountable to them. If you have a meeting with your mentor, don't get there late. No one likes to be taken for granted. If you have reasons to be late or absent from a meeting, inform the person ahead. If your mentor notices that you don't have value for time, it might discourage the person. Even when you're paying the person, courtesy demands that you let the person know when you'll not be available. No one will take you seriously when you have a bad habit of not keeping to time and lack accountability. Keep learning. Things will get clearer, and uncertainty will start to go away as you get more information. That's why great people are often avid readers. When you have more insight into a subject, you'll know the best way to approach it. You'll know the pros and cons of your decisions, and you'll be able to weigh your options before choosing an option. So you should never underestimate the impact of learning in any endeavor. Time invested in research isn't wasted. Rather, it's an investment that will yield dividends in the long run. Keep track of your progress. One of the reasons you need to set SMART goals is so that you'll be able to keep track of your progress. You should be able to tell whether you are improving or not. If you cannot evaluate your progress, it's a sign that you have a vague goal. Where were you? Where are you now? You should be able to answer these questions without sounding confused. Before you start any endeavor, ask yourself whether you will be able to tell whether you are making progress or not. If your answer to that question isn't an emphatic yes, then you need to reconsider the objective. Being able to keep track of your progress is essential, especially when you have long-term targets. Many people lose focus along the line when they set long-term goals. Therefore, it's vital that you have milestones that depict progress to evaluate how well you are doing. Damn the consequence. It's always good to have a clear plan as you pursue a target. However, in some cases, the reason you are uncertain is that you're scared. You should keep learning and seek better ways you can do something. Still, the truth is that you'll never know enough to do something. You should avoid making mistakes as much as possible because they can be costly sometimes. However, you shouldn't be too afraid to make mistakes. The lessons you learn as a result of your failure often stick more. You'll remember the pain and disappointments in the future, and it will guide your steps. You don't want to fall into the same ditch all over again. Therefore, you'll not want to use the same approach that didn't produce the kind of result you want. Your past errors make you wiser and better prepared for the future. So once you make a plan, think about the pros and cons, and damn the consequence. What if you fail? You aren't the first and won't be the last. Stand up and start all over again.